Hello, my name is Damon Friedman, co-founder and president of SOF Missions. As a 20-year veteran within Special Operations, I've gone through many challenges due to my military service and time in combat. We felt called to start SOF Missions to serve our fellow brothers and sisters in arms, focusing on suicide prevention and resiliency. Our mission at SOF Missions is to empower warriors to find purpose and be resilient. Since 2011, when we started the organization, almost 3 million men and women have deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan. Unfortunately, the scars of war take a toll on their psychological, physical, social, and spiritual health. Many veterans feel a sense of hopelessness and a loss of purpose when they return to civilian life. They feel isolated and alone, unable to reconnect. And in the greatest of tragedies, over 20 veterans lose all hope and take their own lives. Our goal at SOF Missions is to provide veterans the tools and resources so that they don't become a statistic. We offer a unique approach to combating veteran suicide through a whole health intradisciplinary model. The Be Resilient program is a 4-pillar methodology that addresses the areas of psychological, physical, social, and spiritual wellness. We provide care through 3 delivery methods: medical clinics, retreats, and educational training. Since we started back in 2011, we have been able to reach veterans in all 50 states and have served over 3,000 veterans through the Be Resilient program. Being resilient is a multifaceted and complex issue. We know that to find a lasting solution, we have to address the whole warrior. Many challenges cannot be solved by providing the treatments and modalities of just one component, but by tackling them all. Now, we've expanded our services to include law enforcement and first responders. Together, we can make a lasting impact in the lives of warriors across the nation. To learn more, visit our website at sofmissions.org.
For your post assignment, all units proceed to your post assignment.
All right. Welcome back.
Misfit Nation. The Misfit Nation show.
We are a show founded by a veteran and hosted by 2 veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their stories to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with the Misfit Nation. If you're a musician or an actor, our audience needs to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on and share your tips with the Misfit Nation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you are a corporate leader or an entrepreneur, come on and show how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you are a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we would love to have you come on and share your story with the Misfit Nation. We always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, Stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or feel embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran, take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you are a new listener, welcome to the Misfit Nation show. Be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast app. Also on our YouTube channel at @the_Misfit Nation. Subscribe and click the bell to keep you up to date on our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Heroes Media Group and About Face Radio. Now, let's get to the show!
All right, Misfit Nation. Tonight is the night you shake off the weight of the week and remind yourself what you're made of. You fought through obstacles. You pushed through stress. You showed up, and showing up is what champions do. This is your reset, your recharge, your reminder that no matter what life throws your way, you are still standing, still fighting, and still here to light this world up. And there's no better way to do that than with the crew that brings the grit, the laughs, the raw truth, and the fire every single week. So Misfits Unite, get loud, get ready, and get fired up, because here they come, Steven and Jake, the ToosDay Crue. This week, Steven and Jake will sit down with Gene Campbell, founder of the True Patriot Outfitters. Boys, take it away!
Hi, good evening, Stephen.
Good evening, Jake. Hello, everybody.
Hey, everybody, thank you for checking in on us tonight and joining us this evening. Before we get started, just a little bit of housekeeping rules here. Remember to get on there, like, share, and subscribe. Every time you do that, that just helps us get pushed out to more folks, and hopefully we reach the audience that we need to reach. And just remember, the support that you show us is what gets us out there, and we are very thankful for that.
And also, don't forget to catch us on Reach Across America Mondays at 3 p.m. and check out their other shows, and also the other shows on Heroes Media Group. We're one big happy family. We got great shows out there, so jump into there, check them out, and see what you like there also.
Yes. And matter of fact, Stephen, speaking of Heroes Media Group, our guest tonight is a part of Heroes Media Group. And so, well, first of all, how's your week been thus far?
It's been a little crazy. Just work related, work BS, and things I need to take care of and get done. Even had to go on my day off today, but otherwise, life is fine. How about you?
Well, like I was talking to you earlier, I got all the things on my truck fixed that I wanted to get fixed today, and life is good. Mrs. Holland is good, and I'm just all I can say is I'm blessed. So
am I. I'm blessed every time I wake up in the morning, and with the love of my family and everything. So that's a good thing.
You know it. Well, hey, I tell you what, this week we've got tonight, we have a great guest coming in here. His name is Gene Campbell. He is the founder of True Patriot Outfitters, which is a nonprofit, and he is based out of the North Metro Denver area in Colorado. And what he does is they are improving the mental health and the quality of life for our nation's heroes, soldiers, veterans, first responders, and their families. And what they're, with, they're outfitters. They go outdoors, whether it's, and I'm going to let Gene explain all this. I know they do a lot of fishing. I don't know what else they do. I've seen some of their videos on Instagram, just
kayaking, canoeing.
Kayaking,
canoeing. Get people together.
Fishing out of kayaks. I'm going to have him explain that. I've been in a kayak one time, and I don't think that I am balanced enough to fish out of a kayak. I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Next time you're on TikTok, search fishing from a kayak, and you'll see it looks like it's an amazing thing. It's fun.
Well, I got a little pond. I might just get me a kayak and get out there and sit in the middle of my pond and practice. Well, hey, without any further ado, let's get Gene in here.
Good evening, Gene.
What's happening, fellas?
Hey, not much. Hey, Gene, we gave about the 5-cent bio of yours. So if you want to fill in the other 95 cents of it, the floor is yours, sir.
Boy, talk about setting the bar high for me there. 95 cents, my goodness. No, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, that's we're the True Patriot Outfitters. We're a nonprofit organization. We operate out of Colorado here locally, but we reach out across regional and across the Midwest. That's what we try to focus on, mainly because we have contacts and resources in those areas, and we know people. So it helps us kind of do that. And we do kayak fishing and camping trips. That's kind of our specialty. There's a lot of organizations that do the outdoor work, right? Which we need more. Okay. I mean, flat out, we need more organizations doing more outdoor work because that works, right? When you let Mother Nature go to work and you create little communities like that of like-minded individuals and like experienced individuals, the outdoors, man, can be one heck of a catalyst to really, hitting that recharge button, doing that self-maintenance that we need, to keep our brothers and sisters, where they need to be. And yeah, man, that was really what was the motivator behind what we're doing here. The difference is with us, we specialize in kayak fishing. Now, you were talking in that response about, I'm worried about, I haven't been in a kayak. If you know my build, I'm not talking the kayaks that you sit down in, that, you're trapped in type thing. Uh-huh. These kayaks are, they're mini little fishing boats, right? You sit on top of them. The ones we use, we're blessed to be working with and teamed up with New Canoe. Blake Young is a United States Navy vet. He's the owner of New Canoe. They're made right here in America. And these things are hunting and fishing machines. That's what they're designed for. We're 12 and a half feet long. We're 41 inches wide, stupid stable, right?
Okay.
I mean,
41, yeah, 41 inches. Yeah.
Yes. 650 pounds we can pack into this kayak if we want to. Yeah, that's its capabilities. It's a fantastic kayak. And so, yeah, we get out and we do fishing. We have 3 different levels of kind of trips that we do. This has really been a big closing season for us. I'm so excited. This is our 3rd year. And at the close of this year, we've now been blessed with a pair of Army combat vets have come on board with us in the form of kind of like consultants. Mm-hmm. These are 2 individuals that I don't have words to express the love I have for these 2 gentlemen. They're 2 guys, two dads that have very young families at home. They've walked and done things that I will, as a civilian, will never be able to fully understand or grasp, but I can be absolutely 100% grateful for these type of what these gentlemen have done. And now here they are breathing this new energy and focus, helping me with the TPO. The issues we were running into is we proved the concept. We know it works, right? I've had guys give me response that, hey man, that was fun, all the way to, brother, you may have just saved my life. So I don't need lab coats or statistics. When I've got responses like that, that tells me everything I need to know right there, but I've got one head and about 72 hats. Yep. And there's, the old saying, like an all-purpose cleaner. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does all right on many different things. And that's pretty much what I had to operate as, because you got to keep funding going. You got to keep operations going. You got to keep this and that's. And you never get a chance to do any one of them great. Now, these 2 guys have come in and started to breathe some life into us in areas that were not my forte, right? I've learned in these later part of my years that I'm an operations guy, man. Put me on the water. That's where I can share my passion. Let me take these guys out. That's where I want to be with them. That's where I think where I can contribute the most and get that stuff. And these guys are helping me from behind the scenes. We're set up to have just an amazing year. We're super excited to see where we go with this. We're working with local cities around here, getting in touch with the first responder groups and their families. And now we're going to be hitting on all 8 cylinders, man, as we go forward with this, partnering more collaborations with other nonprofits that kind of work in a similar space. Mm-hmm. And that's how we do this, right? Together. There's no competition out there. We're working together to bring the healing, abilities of what this can do.
The healing is the most important part.
Yeah. And, well, first of all, thank you for doing this. And I just have to ask, as a civilian,
yes, sir,
how did you come up with this? How did you get into this?
I was going to say, how did you go from IT work to this?
Right?
Yeah. Let me sit like this and type all day to let's go fishing.
So for a longer other show, I did have a little run with the U.S. Navy, but also at the beginning of the 1990s, the administration that came in there saw fit to cut a lot of the budget of the U.S. Navy in the early 1990s. I was, and I was part of that. So I'm not technically a veteran, and I did not make it all the way through boot camp. So I've always had, and I was always been raised with a very patriotic sense. And I knew quite honestly that if I was going to be, I was a trailer park kid that came from, a single parent household, not a whole lot, going on. So I kind of knew if I was going to make something, that might be the best place I can go make something of myself,
Yeah.
Well, when life dealt, a different hand to me there, we had to pivot and do what we had to do. So I kind of, wasn't able to go that route. Later on, I ended up becoming a first responder volunteer with the Larimer County Dive Rescue Team. When my kids were very, very young. And that was a time that I was very proud of, doing some work that not a lot of people could do or wanted to do. I was just talking to one of my brothers from there. He and I are old now. That's a young man's game. But we stay in contact, still to this date. When you work out there on those, the dive rescue work like that, you make some really good bonds. And then I coached for a lot of years. That's all started as volunteer. And those were always the areas that fed my soul, right? I felt like I was giving something back and I was doing something for my community. The IT work, Steven, I'll tell you what, brother, that is the heartless, ignorant, nothing to it. Because I knew that if I didn't show up one day, nobody cared. I mean, there'd be 72 other people behind me that could do the same job. It's like, I never felt like I was making an impact. To make a long story short, I left. I had to leave the first responder work behind because we moved. And then I had to leave coaching behind because I decided to try to chase fish around the country for a living, and see if you could make a living doing that. Well, spoiler alert, you can't. There isn't one to be made there.
So you're not going to be Bill Dance anytime soon.
No, other than the blooper reels, man. Yeah, I'm good for a few trips and falls and bonking my heads. But no, so we were staged to try to chase fish with my bass boat all around the country there for a while, and I had an opportunity to go to an event with the Warrior Bonfire Program, which serves Purple Heart recipients. Mm-hmm. And to make a long story short, I opted out of a tournament, decided not to go to it, and drove an extra 2 hours down the road to Vienna, Missouri, and spent a week-ish with 6 Purple Heart recipient combat vets. And my life was changed when I realized the power of me sharing my passion for something. When I saw what it did for these human beings that I put in such high regard, and was so grateful that they would allow me to share space with them during that time and hear their stories, and to see the raw emotion, to see the impact of what that sacrifice, and to hear what that sacrifice was still doing, to several of these warriors. And I knew that, man, if I can share my passion for something and it could bring a little bit of help, then by God, that's what we got to be doing. That's what I should be doing. And so for 3 hours on the drive home of 13 hours home, talked my wife's ear off, telling her, honey, I think I found it. I think I found exactly what I need to be doing. And it's not chasing fish. If we chase fish, it's only to use that stage and use that networking to bring this to these folks. And the words of my amazing, unbelievable wife was, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll take care of the real bank. You go take care of the karma bank. And I'm like, what? And for the first time in my entire life, I became a kept man. My wife is far smarter, far more successful than me. And she said, get the nonprofit off the ground, get working on it. And I'll take care of things here on the home front, and you get this thing rolling, and let's see what we can do with it. And over the course of the last 3.5, 4 years, she has told me things such as, I know that you are exactly where you need to be, and you're doing exactly what you were meant to be doing. And man, when you got that kind of support behind you, I tell you, there's
Yes.
all that's left is excuses, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So I take that, and I can honestly say I've never worked as hard at something ever in my life as I have with the TPO here. It's 365, 7 days a week. It never shuts off in my head. I'm always thinking about the next moves and things that we need to be doing. So that's why having these two guys come in and help me, man, is so huge. But that's what led me to it. It was just life, right? And I paid attention to things that were around me and said, okay, if this is the plan you got for me, boss, then I guess this is the way we're going to go, and we'll see what we can do with it.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know, I've only been talking to you for a few minutes here.
Yes, sir.
If you're helping people get over their mental health issues, and, I truly believe, and if you felt called to do it, I think you're truly doing God's work. If that's what you're being called to do and you're successful at it, that's what you're supposed to be doing. And again, thank you very much,
Jake. It's truly my
You're
honor.
going out and putting groups of people into good places. That's amazing, and I love that.
And absolutely. And Jake, I can't thank you enough for those words. And to hear that, to be honest with you, is quite the humbling thing, because I'll be straightforward and honest with the viewers out there. Up till about a few months ago, I really wasn't sure where I was at in the whole spiritual landscape. I always left open the idea that there's got to be something else out there, right? But I wasn't too 100% sure exactly that I believed per se in certain things. And just to sum this up, a few things have taken course over the last 2-3 months, and there's no question in my mind of God and the power that is out there. And as proof of it, sitting right next to my desk these days, just got my new version here, and I've been doing my best to go through and do my readings daily and try to just educate myself on a better level. And so to hear those words that this is the work that we're doing, I hope so. You know what I mean? I am 100% sure there's a plan in place out there, and that we have free will to do what we want to do with that plan. But I know I've been shoulder checked and hip checked a few times to get my butt back on the tracks. And so I'm going to make sure I keep going down the track that he keeps knocking my head into, going, "You're supposed to be here, goofball."
Yes.
But yeah, it is absolutely, there's no doubt it feels good to do that stuff. But at the same regard, I try to always remind myself it's not about me. It's not about, individual. It's about the mission. And it's about continuing down this path that Brian Romans of the Romans Warrior Foundation taught me from day one. And he's a man that I no longer consider a friend. He's a brother of mine, United States Marine, involuntarily, retired, as he will tell you. And Mr. Romans has taught me if we got to do it one at a time, then by golly, that's exactly what we'll do, is one at a time. And so that's, I live by that, like I was talking earlier off air about our podcast. If we have 5 dedicated people, because that we don't do certain clickbait things, or we don't get into shock jock radio stuff, then okay. Then it's 5 people, because we're going to stay true to the content. Same thing with the TPO. We're going to stay true to the mission, and we're going to keep knocking it down. And as long as we can keep putting butts in kayaks, man, that's what we're trying to do, right? And
that's right.
And get out there. And that's really a big thing with us, is that also, and we don't talk the T word. I don't throw that out there, because I have a lot of degrees, and not one of them is in that area, right? We go fishing. We burn up some steaks. If some guys want to grab a beer and there's no problems, with that, then grab a beer or whatever. And we'll burn up some steaks, and we're going to tie some knots. We're going to chase fish, and we're going to say inappropriate jokes, And hopefully by the end of it, we got some bonds and we got some new brothers and new sisters there. And that's what we're aiming for. Right. And I hope they know that when they leave with us, that once you're in with us, you're sorry. There's no cure now. Now you're not getting out.
Your
Well,
ass is stuck.
Yeah, it is stuck. Well, knowing my big ass, it'd probably be stuck in a kayak. Speaking of us, Stephen, we have a question directed at us from Metal Gear Dancer. And it's asking, do we both work in garages? If so, what's the worst car to work on?
Oh,
Well, I don't think Jake works in a garage. He works on his car. He works on
I work on my truck, Mrs. Holland's Jeep, and my tractor, and anything else that anybody might need help with. I do not work in a garage, but I will say the worst that I think to work on is anything newer than about 1998.
Well, that's true. Right? The older cars are a lot easier to work on. The biggest problem with today's cars, and it's a lot of them, is they're all covered in plastic, top, bottom. To be able to work on the car, you have to take away dozens of screws and dozens of clips and pull off panels, and because they want the car to be pretty instead of functional. The old day, you got in a car you drive. Now there's skid plates and there's this and that, and you have to move all of this stuff just to try to work on a car. So Chevys I hate. There's always problems, but a lot of cars now they're hiding parts. Like my car in general, I have a Kia. I needed to do my fuel injector. Normally they're right on top of the rail, right on top of the car. I have to take the exhaust manifold off and take all these other parts off. It's a 3-hour job. Just put 4 injectors in my car.
Yep.
Life should be a lot easier than that, but no, they have to hide everything under everything to make you have to go to a dealer or spend a hell of a lot of time taking the car apart to put it back together. Just put $20 or $100 worth of parts into it, make it run better.
But hey, if we all drove kayaks, all we'd have to do is fix our paddles.
That's right. That's right. I saw an interesting interview with Elon Musk like a year or so ago, and he was talking about when he first got into Tesla. He was in this room with a bunch of auto manufacturer, owners and bigwigs, and they basically, to make a long story short, they told him that, look, if it's selling cars, if you think that's where you're gonna, make money, you got a rude awakening coming. That's not where it's at. Where it's at is in the parts. Oh, yeah. And it's the parts and service. That's what you have manufacturers out there building for, right? It's like you're not going to get rich selling a car. They get their money from fixing those cars. So you'd think they would want to make life a little easier on the at-home mechanic, or maybe that's an American thing that likes we like to work on our stuff where maybe other markets don't do that as much. I don't know.
Well, I do it because I don't want to pay $125 an hour for somebody to do what I know I can do.
Amen.
Wow, 125. Yep. We charge 150.
Well, you're in one of those bougie garages.
No, it's honestly, it's a Jiffy Lube. No, it's not bougie. But that's the rate, $150 labor.
Wow.
And 9 out of 10 times, it's me on this Googling, how do I do this? And it tells me, and I fix the freaking problems.
Yep.
Oh, hey,
you don't even need to be a mechanic anymore. All you have to do is go to Google, go to YouTube, watch a video and say, oh, damn, I can do that.
It's not bougie, the bald guy is. I like that comment.
well, I learned a long time ago. When my daughter was born, we bought an Impala. It's a 2001. It was brand new. It was beautiful. A sensor one. I went to my mechanic, and he wanted to charge me like $800 to put the sensor in. I went and bought the sensor for $65. Took off my belt and maybe the power steering housing. Put the sensor in myself, $65, and he wanted to charge me $700 for the same job.
Wow!
Oh yeah, 2 hours to do it.
Yep.
From there, it just went downhill. Now, if I go to him, he's like, "What the hell do you want? You can do it yourself."
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
it's the truth. They have to make money, and I tell people all the time, it's easy. Like they say, "Oh, the dealer this." Well, you go to a dealer, their parts department has to buy the parts from the dealer, so they mark it up to the parts department. The parts department marks it up to you. So that $15 air filter is now $90 when
Yep.
it gets to you, and they're going to put it in your car. So you need this air filter. It's $90. We'll put it up for you because it was marked up 3 times because it's 3 different entities just to get to you.
Yes.
How do you think people make money?
Exactly. You got to have a middleman. Hey, we are going to take just a short minute. I've got a public service announcement, and then we're going to talk some more about fishing, Gene.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, if you're out there, you're feeling the darkness, and you don't think that you want to see tomorrow, stop. Pick up your phone, dial 988. If you're a veteran, take option 1. There's people on the other end of that line that will get you the help that you need. They will listen to you, and if you need to get somewhere to get safe from yourself and from your thoughts, they can help you get there. I've said it before. Somebody that I dearly love has used this. It worked for them. They're in a better place now. And just remember, we here at the Misfit Nation ToosDay Crue, we love you. We want you to be here tomorrow. And tomorrow's going to be too beautiful of a day for you not to be in it. So thank you. All right, let's get back to some fishing. So
Yes, sir.
what kind of fish are you chasing?
So mainly bass, right? That's the drug that got me into it. I mean, I'm like everybody else. Bluegill and panfish as a kid, that was the gateway fish.
Yes.
That got me into it. But there is something about bass fishing to me. These are sight ambush predators, right? And there was something about this calm as I'm pulling my little frog across this lily pad, and all of a sudden, it's like somebody flushed a toilet, just kabloom. This explosion hits right next to the lily pad. My frog is gone, and I'm, yanking and laying the wood to this thing to set a hook, from this deal and pulling out, who knows what out of those weeds, and that excitement, it transpired into jig fishing for me, feeling that little thump, thump, thump at the end of my line. And I know my jig has slid down that stump just the way it was supposed to. And some big bug-eyed slaunch head, bass is sitting down there and just hit it. And that setting the wood to it and that adrenaline rush like that, for those few seconds to see what is it that I'm pulling out of here. You're always hoping for the next big deal. And I still to this date remember my PB. I remember my personal best bass was on Chester Woods, and I remember the little triangle that the 3 stumps formed and the jig that I threw in there, and it was just over 6 pounds. I remember the feel of it, and that was 10 years ago. It never leaves you, right, when you get that bug. And so bass has always been. Now, moving out here to Colorado, I've had to learn how to finesse fish a lot better.
Yeah.
I'm a swamp guy, man. Put me in the skinny swamps back there and let me muck around in the weeds, and I'm right at home. But out here, we don't have weeds. We don't have swamps. We got crystal clear cold water with rocks. That's what we have. Now, smallmouth bass like that, but those are like the worst possible conditions for you as an angler. They see you coming. They hear you coming. Our population of people out here is ridiculous. So it's jet skis and wakeboards and everything running over top of them all day long. So it's tough fishing out here. You learn how to finesse fish for them out here. And that means going down to like fishing line that I literally break when I tie knots, right? And because I'm just a bear cub with boxing gloves on half the time out there. And so it's like 4 pound, 6 pound test line. I'm like, are you kidding me? I need 3 sets of readers just to see the thing so I can try to tie it, right? So I've had to learn that, and technology has helped. That live scope has really helped quite a bit out here in these waters.
Oh, I'm sure.
just because you can see them a good distance off, and you can set up on them a little bit easier. But I absolutely love our trips into Kansas, Nebraska, because that's a little bit more kind of fishing I enjoy. Nothing to me is as fun as Missouri fishing. I love the waters there. I love the people there, the anglers, the communities. Missouri is amazing to me. It's like every time I cross a state line, it's like this is home away from home, man. I feel like this is where I was supposed to be, out here. Those waters kick my butt a lot, but I sure do love it, and love fishing that. So it's easy to share a passion when you still have it. And
Yes.
I thought I was losing it, but I got it back here at the tail end of, about midway through this last year here, because I drew back a little bit from tournament fishing. I'm pulling away from that, and I'm focusing more on fun fishing and just the TPO work. And I've got the love for it back again, so I'm getting excited already, and I hate the winter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but there's always summer somewhere. You find that warm spot,
Yep.
Yeah,
It's just getting out of this state is the trick, man.
Oh,
It's so flat.
No kidding. Now, have you ever fished East Texas?
I have. Lake of the Pines, I had an opportunity to.
I have. I've got a good friend of mine. He lives in the hill country down there in Texas, and he fishes a lot. And he's been on the show a couple times, and he too was chasing fish around the country, and went a different path. But he said fishing he said from East Texas to the Georgia state line is some of the best fishing that there is in this country.
You've got legendary lakes down there that if you were to make a Mount Rushmore of bass fishing lakes, there's probably 5 mentions in that area that he just talked about, from Sam Rayburn to to Table Rock, out of Missouri there, Dardanelle, Bull Shoals, Toledo Bend, all those things down there. Yeah, it's amazing fisheries, super healthy. Mother Nature, you learn to respect it for sure down there. Especially if you're talking kayak stuff. Sam Rayburn and Toledo Bend are no joke in a kayak. If that wind picks up, you either, get back tucked into those fingers in there, out there, or you just get the hell off the water because that's big water out there, and that's, you got to pay attention.
Yeah.
So you don't get out here to Jersey to go fishing in like the Hudson River?
So I'm 53, Stephen, and the stories I remember of the Hudson River, I don't think I want to catch anything out of that.
You'd be catching Coney Island whitefish.
Just because the fish look like the fish from The Simpsons, they got 3 eyes. It's all good. For years we crabbed in that water. Look at me.
That's awesome.
Oh, hey, we got some questions.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
Drive for Life wants to know, what's the moment during that week with the Purple Heart veterans that made you realize that this was your new mission?
So
question, Bus Drive for Life.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I don't know if it was any one thing. There's so many, like our name, the True Patriot Outfitters, came from that day. Staff Sergeant Justin Patterson, still to this date, is somebody that I love dearly. He's out and he's started on his new mission with 10KO. It's another nonprofit out there doing similar things, with outdoor stuff. He taught me such a great deal during that trip, but it was just multiple situations that like we had a couple of fellas there that had never been bass fishing. And so here I was with an $80,000 bass boat on this private lake. I pulled it in, dropped it into this little pond, and I was taking these guys out and around. So we had a pontoon and my boat floating around this little private pond up here. And we would put like 2 guys on my boat, and I was using my remote to run the trolling motor. I was sitting in the captain's seat there, and I had a guy up on front and a guy in the back, and I was positioning us with the trolling motor so that they could fish, across these. So we had from that all the way to some fellas, like I had an old boy from Louisiana who was he had been around bass fishing, pretty much, and inshore fishing his whole life. And so it was multiple situations there, but what I found was the true curiosity they had, and the ability for us to sit there and focus on a couple key things, and then seeing the response from them, seeing the unbelievable. I just couldn't believe it, because it was easy work for me, but to them it meant so much. And Sergeant Pat, he put it together best. He said, listen, we all know in the nonprofit game, we all need money, right? We have to. Everything costs money. He goes, but I'll tell you this right now, to a vet, he said, and he was talking to me, as a civilian, he says, to a veteran, anybody can write a check. Not everybody is willing to give their time. Mm-hmm. So you giving your time to us, he said, means the world. And man, I just sat there, and this was before I'd made any decisions to do anything. And I'm just, okay, yes, sir. I'm gonna listen to this. He's younger than me, and I'm sitting there, yes, sir. All right, yes, I'm gonna keep taking this stuff in, and I'm gonna keep putting this in my head. And it was at the last bit of the day. So we're the last night. We're around the bonfire. They're retiring a flag. Dave, the property owner, and myself are the 2 civilians there, and we're sitting off to the side, and the other 6 gentlemen are sitting around the fire. We're kind of off to the side from the fire, and they're all saying their goodbyes and their tributes and so forth, this and that. And this old boy, I'm not even going to try to do the Louisiana accent, because he was Cajun through and through. He's a former Bradley commander. He looked right over and he says, you 2 boys right there, he said, Dave, Gene, you boys may not be veterans, but I'll tell you what, you're civilians worth fighting for. And in my eyes, you are true patriots. And I'm getting goosebumps just telling that story. And I've told it a million times. And I'm sitting there and I look at Dave and I'm like, I'm not crying. You're crying. Whatever, man. Got some smoke in my eye. Gentlemen, I'll tell you, up to that point, Dad has always been the best thing I've ever been called, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing I'm most proud of. And number 2 was coach. I coached sports for about 18 years. And that night, Coach went to 3, and True Patriot, in this man's eyes, to call me a True Patriot, that took number 2. It took that second slot right underneath being, Dad. And I literally, right when I got home, one of the first things I did after 13 hours and I was drowsy as all get out after I made the drive home, because I pulled it straight through. First thing I did is went to the state of Colorado and locked up the name True Patriot Outfitters. I'm like, that's it. That's what we're going to be from here. I don't know how it's going to work, but that's what we're going to do. So great question. I don't think it was any one thing. It was a feeling. It was a calling inside, sharing time, hearing their stories, and understanding that we could do a small little bit just by sharing something that we loved. It felt like we have to do this. If we have the option and we got the bandwidth, then it's our responsibility to do it. Right. And so, because I know not everybody can, and I don't blame anybody for that. I got a unique situation that allows me to set this. Now the name of the game is create an organization that goes way beyond me. So when I'm done and I hang it up, this organization and the mission stays going forward. That's the big challenge.
Well, you got to get those folks in there and train your replacement.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
Make sure that they've got the same heart for it that you do.
Yes, sir.
And
we got more questions for you.
Oh yeah, got more questions.
At Kelly's Guy 423 wants to know, how does kayak fishing create a different healing environment compared to traditional therapy?
Yeah, I don't.
Kelly's Guy.
I don't know if it's a different per se, because what I will say is this. Heroes on the Water is hands down done the most research on what kayak fishing does specifically in regards to stress management, PTSD, anxiety, depression, its impacts for that. Heroes on the Water has dedicated a lot of time and effort, and they actually funded a study with Texas A&M that looked into this and started digging into it. It's what kind of drew me to the kayak side out of a boat. Each one of the activities that you get involved with inside the rec therapy arena has positive impact when done properly. Quite honestly, I think if you just went out and did it with nobody, it would still have a positive impact. I'm a believer that much in it. But when structured right, it has a really good impact. Kayak, what makes it a little bit different than some of the other fishing and what kind of separates it is that 50% of your time has to be delivered to that kayak itself. Right. Mm-hmm. You've got to stay focused because we don't want to go in the drink. Right. We're trying to stay topside.
Yes.
So 50% of your time is dedicated to navigation and to keeping your butt on the right side of the water. The other 50, you've got to dedicate to hunting those sneaky little critters that we're out there to try to get. You don't have time to think about pretty much anything else. This brings in a hyper focus for you, and it keeps your mind busy, and it quiets down everything else around you. The kayak fishing experience also creates a very intimate fishing experience where, dude, you can reach your hand over and touch the water. Now, when you're in Louisiana, I don't recommend doing that because there's swamp puppies in that water. It's the only place that I go healed when I go fishing. Is down in those areas.
You come out looking like Amos Moses.
Right. But yeah, you get into the fish's environment, right? I mean, you get down to their level. Are you aware of wind changes in a kayak to where in my boat? I had a 21-foot bass boat, man. It better be a strong wind before you're going to move me around. And I've got, power poles and trolling motors and everything else. Now I do have all of our kayaks do have trolling motors on them because I'm a tech nerd and I like to geek out with this stuff. We're there to fish. I'm not there to prove you're in better shape than me. Right. Okay. And so, yeah, it's definitely a very unique experience, but I would say, obviously traditional therapy, I couldn't answer that from a standpoint of an educated opinion because I've never been in that situation. But from the stories I've told, kayak fishing is a hell of a lot more fun, and I think that it's potential for long-lasting impact. It's what definitely recreational therapy is known as CAM, complementary alternative medicine. Okay. So I think as opposed to saying one or the other, bring them together. Right. And when you combine them with that, now I think you start to see an amplified effect. So maybe it's not so much one or the other as it is add this into the mix. And if you come out with us, it isn't going to cost you a penny. That's the whole point we're trying to do.
It's just a different alternative.
And I kind of equate it to, I do a lot of horseback riding.
Yeah. Huge.
And like 50% of my time is staying on the horse.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I've always said that kayaking out, especially in Colorado, is like riding a motorcycle, except we're not as nimble, right? We're not as fast and nimble, but we have to be as defensive because people don't see us in the slightest, wakeboard with Nickelback blaring and his white frame sunglasses comes ripping by us or whatever. And the next thing you know, we're going for a swim out there.
I tell you what, I've got a lot of respect for kayakers. When I first got out of the Army, I worked on the lower Mississippi on a towboat, and we passed a kayaker one time, and he was upbound. He was going upriver. And I tell you what, I don't know how many miles a day he was making, but I tell you what, that had to be rough.
Yeah, even in the bass boat, man, when we'd catch those barges coming up the Mississippi, up around La Crosse area, that's when you took that for real, dude. Lacey wakeboards in Colorado and has white glasses. White framed, yeah. Do you like Nickelback though, Lacey?
You know what? I will be one of those that admit yes.
I do too. I'm with you, dog. I like their music.
But I think Creed is the devil.
Right.
So. Oh,
Yeah.
great. Cagney, hit us with another question, brother.
Yes, sir. Oh, too quick there. At elementary, my dear Wabord wants to know, what does a typical True Patriot Outfitters trip look like, and who is it designed for?
Awesome.
Thank you for that question, elementary, my dear Wabord.
Yeah, that's a great question. So we, with the help of these two gentlemen that I love dearly, we have now classified our trips into 3 different tiers. Our tier 1 is our local trip. We have an agreement with the city of Westminster for one of the reservoirs here in the city called Stanley Lake. Our tier 1 is all of our local stuff. If it's within 2 hours, we'll go and do this. And these normally last anywhere between 5 and 7 hours. It's kind of a half day of fishing, and then we'll take you out to lunch afterwards. So that basically, we get started right as soon as we can get on the water. At Stanley Lake, there's a few regulations in place because that's a drinking water source for 3 municipalities. So we can't get on the water there any sooner than 7 a.m., no matter what time of year it is. So 7 a.m. we start there, and we'll go up till noon or 1 o'clock. By then, Colorado sun wants to kill you anyway. So it's like, get out of that, as much as we can. And then we go hit one of the local restaurants on the way in. We talk about the day. We talk about kayak fishing, about, anything we want to at the end there. And then we basically send them on their way. That's the tier 1 stuff. Those we clearly do most, we do the most number of events there in the tier 1 realm. The one where the real healing starts to kick in is the tier 2, in my opinion, because the tier 2 is a regional event. We'll go anywhere from 2 to 8 hours away. I draw a big circle around the metro area, and if you're within 2 to 8 hours and it's a place that I have resources or know of some people or have some history with, we'll go there. This is usually a long weekend is what that trip looks like. And that's like a Friday to a Sunday evening or maybe a Monday. That's what that trip will do. We'll drive there. We'll get on scene early, take care of logistics, maybe even go fishing that first Friday. Maybe if it's close enough, we can do it. If it takes us 6 to 8 hours or whatever, then what we'll do is we'll get all our gear ready and we'll get everything prepped and ready to go for the next morning at 5:30, or whatever it is in the morning, we'll hit the water. And so we'll do one of those type of deals there. We cover the ideal situation for us is to find like a state park or a park that has cabins that can hold 3-4 people. Because what that offers us the ability to do is, number one, keep close proximity with everybody and get that campfire at night. Because it's around that campfire, man, where I've seen some amazing stories get exchanged. And you see people starting to bond over that. You see the jokes start flying. I always know, especially when I take out combat vets, the first time they throw a jab at me and insult me on the lake, I'm like, yes, I'm in. Because I know it's on, and I fire right back, and then it's like, yes, okay, now we got you. And so that, like I said, the tier 2 stuff is one of the most fun type of trips because they're easy to do and they don't take a whole lot. Tier 3 are the ones that are going to be those bucket list type events. And we're only probably going to end up doing, like, maybe right now we have the bandwidth for maybe 2 of those, one in the spring, one in the fall. That's going to be up to 12, 13 hours away drive, because I have a few places like La Crosse, Wisconsin, Lake of the Ozarks, Table Rock. I have a lot of people I know in those areas, and we can do some really cool trips in there. We're looking to tie in with a couple big events too, that as we get some people a little bit more experienced with kayak fishing, we're going to give them a taste of what some kayak competition looks like and go enter them into, like, there's an event at the end of each year called the Big Bass 250. Literally 180 anglers. You are one cast away from $10,000, because the guy who gets the biggest fish over that course of that day literally gets a check for 10 grand. They hand it out to you.
Nice.
So I'm thinking, you know what? What an awesome opportunity to go gamble on yourself and let them see what a trip like that could be. Now that's going to be like a 5-day ordeal because it'll be a full day of drive, three days of boots on the ground, and then that final 5th day we're coming home, right?
Okay.
And so that's what the tier 3 stuff. So those are the way that we line this stuff up. We got our gateway trips are our tier 1. I try to take new folks out on those tier 1 trips. So we see, number 1, do you like it? Number 2, do we like each other? Are things going, good there? Do we have a good rapport? Thankfully, I've never met anybody that to my face has said that they don't like me. So I tell them, you'll laugh with me or at me. One of the two, man. That's it. We're gonna get into that.
That's right. That's right.
Now, it's not just veterans; it's also first responders you do this with, right?
Yes, sir. And not just that, but also families is a major portion of what we do. It makes it harder when you're putting bigger groups together to get families involved in that. But to me, I was taught from day one, the entire family serves. And when the best thing that you can have is a strong support system behind you. And I'll tell you what, I've had the opportunity to take combat, non-combat vets with their children out. And when those kids smile and get on a fish, seeing, and when I get a chance to remind them that you do know that he's over there having a great time because of you. I want you to remember that. It's you that made this happen. I'm just the monkey out here, tying a few knots for you. But it was their sacrifice. It was their choices in life that made that trip possible. And now we're going to get, hopefully, this kid hooked on a fishing rod and not a stinking phone. If we can do our best, get them that love of the outdoors. And so,
Yes.
that it's a huge thing, man, with the family side. But yes, first responders, Leos, linemen, electrical workers, those first responders. I don't know how many times in the dive rescue that car hits a telephone pole. We're out there with the sheriff and ambulance crew at 2:30 in the morning. The rain's going sideways, and guess who's out there also? The linemen, trying to get those electrical lines back up and get people deals. So they're as much first responders as anybody else. So yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? My hat's off to those guys. They can have that job because that stuff can kill you.
Oh man, yeah. When you're not allowed to wear metal to walk near something, because of how powerful it is. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
What's amazing about the linemen is they don't just work in their area; they travel. But when we had the big storm here in 2012, I think it was, we had guys from Florida up here helping put power lines back up. They go and they help. They don't just stay. It's like the fire department. They'll get in the truck and they'll drive. They'll just go if they have to.
Yep.
They go and they get the job done. They get called in, and it's one big group that gets together. It's not just your local people.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna pop another one up here, Steven.
Yeah, I don't understand the name of this one because the gummies aren't bad, but I hate gummies now. Wants to know what can everyday Americans do to support TPO's mission and help more veterans experience these trips?
So I'm going to say something that, every founder out there is going to look at me cross-eyed with. And this is what I'm going to tell you. And this is just my personal opinion. And I have no problem stating it. Find organizations in your local area and vet them. Nonprofit organizations that have a good, diverse board, that have a little bit of history to them, showing that that they're being operated properly. See if you can find some references along those lines. Find those organizations and volunteer. Obviously, the easy, low hanging fruit is donations. Man, we all need the funds to it's not cheap to run these trucks down the road, hauling kayaks and lodging and gas and all that. That's the easy, low hanging fruit. And yes, we have to get that support. But man, supporting more of the little nonprofits that are doing strong, good work. I love collaborating with the other small ones. Now, I know there's some big organizations out there that do amazing work, and I'm not poo-pooing on that. But what I am saying is that I've seen firsthand I hear more stories about some of the smaller organizations and the impact that they have than I hear anything else. And so that's, in my opinion, what you can do is if you want to do something about it, obviously donation is always there, any type of donation, but I would always say vet the organization. Make sure you can talk to somebody, make sure they're clear about, their vision of where they're going. Have they filed their taxes? That stuff's all public record and should be extremely transparent and easy to find. If it isn't, lift an eyebrow and hang tight. Maybe give them a year to get their poop in a group. Because we all know there are tricky ones out there, right?
Oh, yeah.
But there's far more, I still believe in the fact there's far more good ones out there that maybe just need some help getting their poop in a group, getting their ducks lined up. But if you can do that, that's the volunteer option, man. I'll tell you, we need volunteers around every event, from just helping us unload the kayaks to talking to people at different events, doing little fundraisers at the grocery store. Our tier 1 events, we knocked it down. If you look at the number of vets we're looking to come in contact with for 26, just on our 14 tier 1 events. That's right. Poop in a group. I don't know where this is going to broadcast. So on my show, we say bad words, but I don't go to other shows and say bad words.
Hey.
Well, normally here they'll drop the F-bomb. They'll say, "Oh, can I say that?" Well, yes, you just did. Just don't do it the whole hour.
That's right. No, man, but that's to me, in my opinion, that's where you can do some good there. Get involved, man. If you're passionate about something like that, that you love the outdoors, just sharing your time. I'd say that's probably the biggest thing. And here's going to be one thing, and I don't know how people will take this, but I say this every day. If you're volunteering and doing work because it makes you feel good, I'm going to tell you this. Thank you, but don't hold your breath waiting on a statue. Okay? It's still good work. I'm not taking it away. I'm not poo-pooing it. But understand that there is a selfish side to that, and that's okay, but accept it. But I'll tell you this, if you're volunteering and it's on a day that, man, you'd really rather not do it, and you got to get up and the weather's tricky. You're not sure if you're going to go. It's cold. It's early. You're sore. You're 53 years old and all your bones are aching, left and right. And you've had 3 events already that week and you got a 4th that you got to go do. And that, yeah, I'd rather not go, but I know there's people there that are counting on me being there. And so you get off your butt and you go do it. I'll tell you what, that's the real deal. Right.
And you're not doing it with your arm like this, your shoulder like this, looking for the pat in the back. You're doing it because it makes you feel good and you're helping people.
This is the mission.
Like, pat me on the back. Yep. I do that at work to people. It's like, oh, look at me, look what I did. Yeah, okay, I'll pat you on the back and I go back to work. That's what you get.
It's a tough thing in the nonprofit. I say this all the time that I appreciate the kudos, but it's really not about me, man. It's about the mission.
Right.
But when you're the face of an organization, to get that trust and to get that buy-in, people do have to trust and like you, in that process, or they're not going to get behind your mission. Right. So if I'm, like sandpaper to people out there, then I know I'm not doing any help to the TPO at that point. So you juggle it, but I always try to, take them back to, hey, remember the mission. No, that's what we're here about. Right. That's the main thing.
Yes. Well, hey, Gene, this hour has flown by.
I've been told I can talk. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't notice that at all.
And I think Stephen talked more tonight than he has in the last couple years.
Excellent.
Wow. Thank you.
Hey, no, that was awesome. That was awesome. Couple things before we get off of here, Gene.
Yes, sir.
If somebody wants to contact you, how do they do it?
You've got it rolling right at the bottom of the page, truepatriotoutfitters.org. Look down at the very bottom. You'll see our EIN is listed right there in front of everybody in God creation that can see our information. You can look us up through the IRS, our filings and so forth. All of our social media is at True Patriot Outfitters. So you can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Those are the three main that we're on. And that's basically, it's the at True Patriot Outfitters. That's the all of our hitting there. If you want to hit me up, it's Gene at truepatriotoutfitters.org. You can throw an email, or I'm sorry, G Campbell, throw an email to me, or just hit a DM out there and we'll get in touch with you there for sure.
You're not on TikTok doing dances or anything? Come on.
No, the beauty of it is my wife has a security clearance that does not allow TikTok on her phone. And so I don't want to get my wife in trouble at work for the big company she works for because of their government contracts. So yeah, dang, I can't have TikTok. Damn it.
Okay, now another question. Hopefully this doesn't put you in the hot seat, but what are 3 things that Gene has to do every day that are non-negotiable?
Wow. 3 things that Gene has to do every day.
And it's not SSNS.
I was gonna say, well, 2 of those aren't negotiable, but one could be. Wow, that's a great question that are non-negotiable. Number 1, I would say, and I'm going to throw maybe some of these things that maybe I haven't done that I should do every day that are non-negotiable. Number 1, that's right, poop in a group. That's right. It doesn't have to be in a group, I guess. All depends on what we had. I'll say this. Number 1, make sure my wife knows how much I appreciate and love her, because without her support, I'm probably maybe not on this side of the dirt. At this point, because I was heading down a different road back when we reconnected. So number 1 is appreciate, be grateful, and remind her how important she is to me. Number 2 is remind myself how important it is that I stay healthy. I've lost 40 pounds in the last year, and I'm taking vitamins. I broke down, fellas. It's an old guy thing, but I actually got it's not for medicine. It's for vitamins. But I have like just a smorgasbord of different vitamins and supplements I'm taking now to make sure I'm getting the right stuff. So yeah, just reminding myself to take care of my health. And here recently, my faith. Just reminding myself the importance of faith and that I need to strive to improve in that area. Just learn more and be a better example, as I lead. So I'd say those. There's probably a lot more, but that was a great question. I got to think of that one there, and I'll send you an email. Let me ask AI what it says.
Yeah.
AI will say SSS.
Right.
Every day.
Yes. Oh,
that's a great one, Jason. Yeah.
Yes,
sure.
It is. That is a good one, Jason. Well, Gene, I tell you what, it's been a pleasure.
My honor completely.
Had a great time this evening, and looking, if you venture out into other stuff, let us know. We'll have you on here and we'll talk about that. Or if one of your guys that goes out, if one of the True Patriot fellas gets that $10,000 bass,
right?
Let us know.
I think everybody's going to hear about that.
I am sure. Well, hey, ToosDay Crue, thank you for spending your evening with us. We love you. We appreciate the support. And something I failed to mention a while ago, if you don't want to dial that 988, hit us up at Jake@themisfitnation.com, Steven at themisfitnation.com, or info@themisfitnation.com. Leave your name and phone number. We will reach out to you.
And I'm amazed you got the 1, 2, 3 right there. That was pretty good. Congratulations.
Oh, I'll tell you, you're number one here in a minute. Oh, hey, y'all, it's been great. And I'll see you next week.
Mr. Nation,
you,
good
guys.
night.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation show. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. That's themisfitnation.com. Check out all our past episodes and get some of the great Misfit Nation gear for you and your family. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling because we are
Misfit Nation. Misfit Nation.